This is something I never told many people, occurred when I was still a teenager. I hope you're listening carefully, because what I experienced changed me. When I was 14, my parents sometimes left me home alone for a few hours after school. It was never for a full night, except one Friday in autumn. They had a work dinner that evening and told me they'd be gone late, around 9 or 10. Before leaving, they gave me cash to order pizza if I got hungry. I was thrilled. A night of games, movies, freedom. I came home, cracked open my room, started gaming. Eventually, I made my way downstairs, then ordered the pizza. Around 7 p.m., the delivery arrived. I answered the door, paid, went back upstairs, perched in my chair with slices and my console. Time passed. The quiet in the house felt thick. Then, beat, whisper. I heard our front door open. My heart instantly raced. My first thought, my parents are home already. But no, two things were wrong. They weren't supposed back yet. I never heard the door unlock. It simply swung open. A presence entered. Footsteps tread across the hardwood floors, inching closer to the stairs. I froze. I retraced my memory. Had I locked the front door? I couldn't be sure. They climbed, slowly, deliberately. My room was on the second floor, the second door on the left. The door was slightly ajar. I dared not close it. They walked past my doorframe. For a moment, I glimpsed a silhouette in that crack, a shadow. My pulse thundered in my ears. But then, silence. The footsteps retreated. Down the stairs to the front door, then click. I bolted downstairs, locked the door. No one outside, nothing disturbed. I called my parents. They returned to an empty, silent house. No theft, no sign of intrusion, only the ghost of presence. Years later, I lived alone. My apartment was modern, secure. One ordinary day while working from home, I heard a knock at the door. I looked through the peephole. Two men in maintenance uniforms stood there. One held an air filter, the other a toolbox. They claimed they were there to change filters. I never received any notice, but I allowed them in. They moved toward a closet in my bedroom, where the HVAC filter was kept, and told me it would take a minute. I retreated to my desk. Minutes later, I heard them leave. I locked the door behind them. Then I went about my work. Later, I carried out trash, just for a minute. When I returned, I froze. A stranger stood in my living room. My heart sank. I confirmed this was my unit. The intruder retreated into another room. Panicked, I exited, called the police from the lobby. When officers searched inside, no one. But as I pieced it together, I realized the maintenance men never belonged there. One of them hid in that small closet the entire time. They followed my rhythm. When I stepped out, even momentarily, they attempted a break-in. A week later, both were caught. Their scheme exposed. Impersonate maintenance, gain access, wait until the occupant is away, or thinks they are. Another time, still alone in my rented house, I returned late from work. Around 8 or 9 p.m., I cooked. Midway, a knock at the front door. I peered through a window. A man, hood pulled over his face. I ignored it, walked back to cook. Seconds later, doorbell. Then another knock. I ignored again. Minutes passed. I resumed cooking. Then, at the kitchen window, he appeared. He knocked on the glass. He stared straight into my eyes. Fear seized me. I fled to the living room, phone in hand. I didn't hear him knock again. I crept back to the window. Empty yard. I finished dinner, went to sleep. But at 1 a.m., I woke. Out the window, him, walking across the backyard, moving closer toward the window again. I dialed 911. I moved away from the window and waited. The police arrived within minutes. They found him, still in my backyard. But shockingly, they couldn't arrest him. He claimed he was lost. He said he thought a friend lived in my house. I don't believe it, because he lingered, he came back, he watched me. I never confronted him. I never got all the answers. This last one still gives me chills. I lived alone in a 2-bedroom apartment. That night, I relaxed on the couch, watching a film. All lights off except in the living room. Suddenly, thump. Something in my office. A crash. 2 seconds. I froze. Heart pounding. I told myself it was nothing, just stuff falling. But the silence felt unnatural. Eventually, I gathered courage. I walked to the office, flipped on the lights. Everything seemed normal. Then I approached the closet. The door was closed. As I opened it, there, in the dark, a man. Panic overtook me. I fled, down the hallway, out the front door. I ran to the lobby and called the police. When officers entered, he was still inside. Arrested on sight. He never explained how he entered. I never got closure. 4 stories. 4 nights that taught me the same thing. The shadows we ignore sometimes hide something real. Lock your doors. Listen to silence. Trust that instinct in the dark. Because you never know who's already inside.